So our next speaker delivers keynotes and runs workshops on attracting, developing and retaining customers. He works with people like Sky TV, Vodafone and Tesco. He travels to exotic places like India and China, and today he's in Reading. He's going to share with us his top tips from his new model, turning your customers into raving fans. Please, go wild, throw your pants and your money. Folding money only, please, because if not, he says he'll run over and spoil lunch. So come on, let's make some noise. All the way from Bonnie, Scotland, it's the president of PSA Scotland, Mr. Stuart Harris!
Ho ho! Can you remember Ed Morecambe? What are you doing show so far? Right? Go back. I saw this in the 70s. Before I was even born. And I thought, that's just brilliant, that's just great. What can I do with this? This is just fantastic. And I practiced it and I mastered it, and that was a Christmas party trick. But then I thought, what happens if I put a hole in the bottom? Oh! Awesome! Try that again. Didn't work. Didn't work, and I thought that's just a bit strange. You can keep that. And then I thought, I forgot all about it. Long time ago. Forgot all about it until I was in seeing a client of mine. I hadn't started working with him yet, but he said, Stuart, can you come in and work with us? Because we're great at getting customers in, but within a year, they leave and they go elsewhere. It was an insurance company, and they were losing 23% of their business after 1 year. You get your car insurance, your home insurance, a reminder a month before. This is your policy about to renew. Don't worry, you don't need to do anything. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people go online and they find out new things and they start searching out other things. Last year, the average was 25% of people left to go elsewhere. This year, they reckon 35% of people will consider going elsewhere. They might not go, but they'll consider it. So he was saying, Stuart, we're great at getting our customers in. You're familiar with the sales funnel. And he said, we're great getting customers in, but no sooner are they in, they drop out. We lose them. How can we work on keeping these customers? Attracting customers is one thing, but how do we develop and how do we retain our customers? So we started thinking about not just thinking of these customers as customers, but thinking of these customers as raving fans. How do we turn them into these customers into raving fans? And one thing that I thought about was it can't just be a normal model, because a lot of people talk about this. We've got to come up with a new version. The Eric Morecambe model for turning customers into raving fans. What worked for him, with however many thousands of customers he had, works for you as small businesses, one-man operators, one-woman operators, solopreneurs, whatever the language is. And these techniques I would like to share with you, because I know that they would work for you. They work for me and they work with a number of people I do work with in coaching. So there's a number of things that we work with. First thing we talked about is how do you communicate with your guys? How do you liaise with your customers? And he said, well, we engage them, we send out the T's and C's, we do all the contract stuff with them, and then we write to them 11 months later to tell them the policy's nearly finished. And then what we do, when they leave, we write to them and try and win them back. The damage is done, they've gone. They're out the exit stage left, they're away. We said, okay, fine, what can we actually do? And I said, think about how you are keeping your customers and your team updated. How are you liaising with them regularly? What do you do with them? Think about when you emailing them. Are you having regular phone calls? Maybe even just updates to liaise with them, what they're doing. Put your mind into this. Forget the insurance plan just now. Think about how are you liaising regularly with your customers. A couple other things. Are you doing mass media? Have you all got a Facebook business page? Of course you have, Stuart. You've got a Facebook page. What are you putting on that? And it's not just funny wee stories of cats kicking a dog's backside or whatever it is, but it's something about that's going to be valuable to your customers. So keeping your customers updated. A couple other things. Twitter. Are you giving regular updates? What you're doing, where you are, where you're speaking. A couple others. LinkedIn. Have you formed your own LinkedIn group to share tips, techniques, and what you're doing? Google Plus. Some people are starting to get into it, but they're a wee bit wary about it. They're not too sure. RSS feeds. YouTube. Podcasts. The latest one, and probably the person in this room that uses it more than anybody else, Mr. Richard McCann. Periscope. You ever use Periscope? Have you got any Periscope yet? My phone is over there working right now on a Periscope video feed. So this is going out to the whole world right now. And thank you very much, Peter. You're fantastic. I love you. You can come back. You can get the paper bag. Would you just pass that back? I'll sign it for you later. So think about the models that you're using. Are you using traditional models of communication, or are you moving the new ways? How are you communicating? Richard doesn't just Periscope about what he works on. It Periscopes about just life and things that he does, because he keeps that regular contact with us. So think about how are you keeping your customers, and make sure, for God's sake, you're keeping your team up to date. There's nothing worse than speaking to somebody going, what's happening next week? I don't know. What are you doing about this? I don't know. Make sure your team are getting kept up to date as well. Also, encouraging the team that you work with, for them to come up with ideas about how to share and how to develop and provide fantastic service to your customers. What are you doing to encourage your team? If you're not sure about your team, who's got a team? Who works with a team? But it's a virtual team, it might be a VA, it might be somebody that works in the office. If you're not sure who your team are today, look around this room. Every person in here can be part of your team. Every single person here can be tuned into what you do and engage with you and come up with ideas. Get lots of ideas. Don't critique it all at once. Get the ideas and then go through it. We don't have the budget. We can't do it for that. We can't do it for that. That won't work. And get that information. If you're not too sure about how tuned in with the rest of the room, can I just ask you to follow me? I just want to see whether you're tuned in with me. So I'm going to snap my hands once. And I want you to snap your hands at the same time, just to see if we are connected. Okay, you ready? Everybody? Sometimes a wee bit, you're tied in, you're tied. So just push your chairs back and just perch, as I am doing just now. Everybody up you get. Everybody up. Up you. I could say get your ass off the seat, but don't worry. Right, okay, just try it once. So try it a wee bit faster. Thank you very much for standing waiting tonight. But just think, obviously, I'm cheap. I know I'm cheap. But just think what you can do to engage with your team and encourage them to come up with new ideas, to try different things about providing fantastic service to your customers. It's a great way, but take it seriously, for God's sake. Don't just pay it lip service. This is what we want to do. Make sure you're paying attention to it. How many of these management experts are in this room? Of course none. But think about the employee engagement you've got with teams you have. A couple other things. Resolve your problems quickly. One of the big problems with insurance companies is because people take forever to pay out claims, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people leave. They don't resolve the problems quickly. If you get problems with one of your clients and you get negative feedback, do something about it. Don't just put it off. Do something about it there and then. Learn from your mistakes. 7 years ago, in the 90s I worked for Coca-Cola. I did national accounts, I was dealing with things like Tesco and Asda, and it wasn't Morrison's, it was Safeway back then. And my manager every so often would come out into a meeting with me, and he would say, right, Stuart, what's your MLD? He was a big fan of MLD and KPI and ACW. Quite frankly, I hate people who use TLAs. So he actually said, what's your MLD? And I knew what my MLD was. We use it as a coaching model in PSA Scotland. And it's a great coaching model. What could you do more of? What could you have done less of? And if the situation comes back, what are you going to do differently? And it's a great way to learn what you've done. Because the more and less of us focus on actually what's taking place, the focus on what you're doing differently is in an ideal world, in a perfect world. What am I going to do? How can I set up that perfect world? So think about what you're doing as far as setting up the day. Practice what you preach. If you say you're a great communications expert, be a great communications expert. If you say you're great at marketing, does anyone know this guy? Jeff Ram. Observational marketing greats. His marketing is second to none. This guy, you won't be able to read it, but this is just some of the emails that I get from a PSA member, Ian Brodie. Great guy, absolutely fantastic. His stuff is gold. And he talks about email marketing and how you can market to your clients, how to engage with your clients. I read his easy podcast, newsletter, whatever it is, every week. Why? Because I get it on a Saturday morning. I don't get bogged down with all the work's happening, I need to go into work. I'll just take a couple of minutes out and go, what's he saying today? He used a lot of video on it as well. Somebody else also podcasts at the weekend, Graham Jones. And it's always a must read. One, the content's great, the timing is great as well. So what are you doing for marketing? He says he's an email marketing guy. He is one of the best in the business, if not the best that I've come across. What's your website like? Jackie Barry, fantastic websites. Her website looks brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Loads of great content, really engaging, really fun. Also, if you say you're the PowerPoint surgeon, your slides better be good. Lee Jackson's slides are fantastic. Thankfully he's not here today to critique me. We get too many words. So, think about what you're doing. Are you practicing what you preach? Are you listening to what you're being told by your customers and your staff? What do you do as far as feedback is concerned? People fill in the happy sheets, you know, at training sessions. You might get some feedback after a conference. And you go, right, okay, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 6, oh God. And then you worry about the 6 for the rest of the week. You forget about the rest of the 10s. But listen to what the feedback is. Listen to what they're telling you. Have that coaching call or that conference call after the event as well to find out from your customers what worked, what didn't work, what could you do more of, less of, differently next year when you come back. And get it booked in the diary as early as possible. Don't leave it, I'll get back in contact 6 months in advance, because you don't know when the planning things out. So what can you actually do to get in contact with people? Listen to what they say. Your perception might be the love is. Their perception might be something different. In a lot of corporate industries, they look at a thing called Net Promoter Score. Is everybody familiar with Net Promoter Score? NPS? Worthwhile checking out. I know obviously I'm not going to go into it today in too much detail. Basically what you do, you survey your customers and you ask them one simple question. Would you recommend me to your colleagues to do an event for them? This represents upselling. Of course it does. You walk into a burger bar and the guy behind the counter with the 5 badges said, do you want to go large? That's upselling. He says, do you want an, oh wait a minute, where are we going? Do you want an apple, a burning hot apple pie that we deep fry? Or God knows how to get it so hot. But it tastes nice. That's cross-selling. Now you might be sitting going, wait a minute, in my world, what is cross-selling, what is upselling, what can I do for my clients? Here's a couple of slides. To upsell is a number of things that I can speak to my clients about. Not just to get one piece of business, but to get additional pieces of business. What can I do? Can I do additional breakout sessions of the day? Can I do maybe additional events later that year on your theme, on your topic, whatever it is? Can you maybe bundle in books? Some people have talked about selling the books, the back of the room sales, what have you. How much do you customise your material? Also, what other things can you talk about? I can cross-sell. This is a fairly new program for me, but I can speak to customers about this, and this is about customer retention. What can you do to develop and grow your business, and what can you do to retain your customers? I also talk about acquisition. And one of the topics that I've got is delivering a fillet steak service in a minced economy. People don't mind paying the price of fillet steak if they're getting fillet steak. They won't pay it if they're getting minced, if they're getting rubbish. What are you doing? So I can talk to them. That's a different product. It's something different that I can speak to them about, and it certainly works. So, and we all present. Whatever it is that we do, we present. Can you maybe run a presentation course for the exec team or the management team or people that need to engage with that? Never forget your customers have got a choice and a voice. Simple choices, they stay with you. Alternative choices, they walk out the door, you never see them again. That's bad enough. If they've got a voice and they jump onto Twitter or Google or Facebook and slag you off, that's damaging. You've got to think, how am I going to manage that? How am I going to deal with that? So don't forget they have a voice and what they're going to do. Know your niche. A lot of people talk about niche or niching in the States. Knowing your niche market. Are you the subject matter expert in your market? Are you the go-to guy? Heather, where are you, Heather? Heather Townsend? Fantastic, but if you want to know about being the go-to expert in your field, read Heather's book. Brilliant, really, really good quality. Thank you. So be the subject matter expert in the field. So when people think about, I need to get the guy in to do such and such, who am I going to call? Ghostbusters, obviously. Then they'll phone you. You're the guy that's in front of their mind. So think about what they're actually doing as far as your niche is concerned. When I went out on my own, 10 years come January, the first year that I did work for, I'd worked in a number of contact centres and had a huge network of different people who'd gone into different things. So my first year consisted of telephone training, not telephone skills, not picking the phone up and making phone calls, but the telephone's about, you press that button and it does this, long time ago. I researched it, I found out how to do it, and I delivered it. I died in my arse, I wasn't good. It wasn't my expertise. Also did some team building exercise for one of the local councils up outside Glasgow. Worked for this company here, Stonebridge, and what they do is tachographs for lorries. What? Great company. What do I know about tachographs? NHS, management training. Norwich Union, customer service training. Sky helped them open up 2 new call centres. Not a bad first year. BMI baby, dealing with difficult customers. These guys, teaching publicans and bar staff how to taste whiskey, how to nose whiskey, how to write a whiskey menu, and how to write whiskey cocktails. It was fantastic. It was a great gig. I'm Scottish, it's whiskey. I drive home. So I can't do, I've got to nose it. I nose whiskey till it all evaporates. But I'm not good. It takes a wee while. You're like, Stuart, we need to clean up the off. I know, wait a minute. So it was a great gig, but you just go. And I mentioned my brother last night to the guys at the comedy night. And he spoke in creative thinking. And he said, you're fantastic. I said, you're a fantastic first year. How are you going to replicate that? How are you going to market yourself to all these different markets? I had a market that was a mile wide, but an inch deep. Again, common expression, a lot of us know about it. A lot of the new guys will go, wait a minute, who am I going to go and target? Identify who you're going to target. And think about, I'm going for a specific market. I've got 2 markets now. Contact centres and single business people. This is PSA Scotland. So some of you recognise some of the people in here. They're one-man operators. They've got to get the business in, they've got to attract, develop and retain their customers. And I work with these guys. And then when I do it, my market is no longer a mile wide. My market is fairly narrow. I know what I'm going to do. I can even do 2 marketing campaigns, but I know what I'm doing and I know how to get myself out there. So it's narrow, but it's deep. And there's a number of different things that I can offer to my clients and what I do. And it works really, really well. Keeps me focused. Know exactly who I'm going to target and how I'm going to get out there and how I'm going to grow that business. So, there you go. 8 simple points about how you can develop and grow your business. Okay? Just going to wrap up in a second. But when I was a child, I spoke and thought and reasoned as a child. But when I grew up, I put all these childish things away. Well, most of them. I love games, I love toys. I'm not quite into all that stuff. Don't get that. But there was a game that I loved as a child, and I brought it into what I do now. Well, you know what's coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, you no longer just have a sales funnel. You have a sales kaplunka funnel. Remember them? This is your customers. This is your customer base. This is who you are, and this is how you grow your business. No longer when you throw. Sometimes you lose customers. I'd love to say I rehearsed that. Sometimes you catch your customers and you keep them. You retain them. You develop them. And they stay with you. Now that's great, but you need strategies. You need to think what you're doing for your customers, because if you don't, you're going to end up, come on, in come, losing more than your marbles. Guys, think about what you're doing with your customers, what you're doing to engage with them, what you're doing to keep them. It's very, very easy. It's dead straightforward. But just get some processes in place and you can do that. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much.